Good evening, dear friends. My name is Abigail, and tonight I invite you to join me in a wondrous journey through the realms of Greek mythology. Here, in this mystical garden, we will weave together the threads of ancient tales and breathe deeply, finding calm in the embrace of these timeless stories. As the day gently transitions into night, let the worries of the world slip away. Find a comfortable place to sit or recline and allow yourself to become one with the tranquility of this enchanted garden. Let the fragrant breeze caress your senses, and with each breath, release the tensions of the day. This garden holds secrets, you see. Secrets that have been whispered through the ages, secrets that hold the key to understanding the very essence of humanity. The tales of Greek mythology are not just stories. They are mirrors reflecting the depths of our desires, fears, and dreams. So, my dear friends, as you join me in this magical evening, allow your senses to awaken to the wonders of Greek mythology. Let your mind wander through the labyrinthine tales of love, courage, and destiny. And as we embark on this journey together, remember that these stories have the power to inspire, to heal, and to remind us of the beauty that lies within the human heart. In the heart of ancient Greece, where myths and legends intertwined with the lives of mortals, there lived a young and gifted musician named Orpheus. His melodies were said to be so enchanting that they could calm storms, charm wild beasts, and make even the gods weep. Yet, among all the wonders Orpheus had ever encountered, there was one that surpassed them all: the love he held for Eurydice. Eurydice, with her raven hair and eyes like the deepest pools, was the muse that inspired Orpheus's every note. Their love blossomed like the sweetest of melodies, a symphony of two souls entwined in harmony. But as fate would have it, their love story would soon be tested by a cruel and unrelenting destiny. One sunny morning, as Orpheus strummed his lyre by the banks of a tranquil river, a shadow fell over his heart. The birds ceased their songs, and the wind whispered ominously. It was a day unlike any other, for as Eurydice danced among the wildflowers, her laughter echoing through the meadow, tragedy struck. A serpent, coiled in the grass, struck Eurydice with a venomous bite. Her laughter turned into screams of pain, and the world around them seemed to shatter into 1,000 fragments. Orpheus rushed to her side, his lyre falling from trembling hands, but there was nothing he could do. The poison coursed through her veins, and before his eyes, the light in Eurydice's eyes dimmed, and her life flickered away. Orpheus wept, and the world wept with him. His music, once so full of life and joy, became mournful and haunting. His grief knew no bounds, for he had lost the love of his life, his muse, and his reason for being. He swore an oath that he would journey to the Underworld, to the realm of shadows and death, and beg Hades, the god of the dead, to release Eurydice and return her to the world of the living. With his lyre in hand, Orpheus began his descent into the abyss. The path before him was treacherous, shrouded in darkness and guarded by monstrous creatures. Yet his determination and the haunting beauty of his music cleared his path. The Furies wept, and Cerberus, the three-headed hound, whimpered at the sound of his lyre. As Orpheus ventured deeper into the underworld, he encountered shades of the departed souls without faces, drifting in eternal sorrow. They watched him with hollow eyes, curious about the living soul who dared to journey into their domain. Finally, Orpheus stood before the throne of Hades and Persephone, the king and queen of the underworld. The cavernous chamber was filled with an eerie silence as the god and goddess regarded the mortal intruder. Orpheus, with tears in his eyes, pleaded, "Great Hades, mighty Persephone, I beseech you. I have come to beg for the return of my beloved Eurydice, taken from me too soon by the venomous bite of a serpent. My love is pure, and my grief knows no bounds. With my lyre I offer a song so melancholy, and offer a song so melancholy, heartfelt that even the stones would weep. Please grant me this one request, and I shall forever be in your debt." Hades, unmoved by mortal pleas, regarded Orpheus with an icy gaze. Persephone, however, felt a pang of sympathy for the young musician and whispered to her husband, "Hades, his love is true, and his music stirs the very depths of our souls. Perhaps we should consider his request." Hades, who seldom yielded to the living, finally relented. "Very well, Orpheus, you may have your beloved Eurydice back. But there is a condition. You must lead her out of the underworld, and you must not look back at her until you have both returned to the world of the living. If you do, she will be lost to you forever." Orpheus, overwhelmed with gratitude, agreed to the condition without hesitation. With a heavy heart and Eurydice's shade in tow, he began the ascent from the depths of the underworld. The path was steep and winding, and the silence weighed upon him. As Orpheus neared the threshold that separated the realm of death from the world of the living, doubt crept into his mind. He wondered if Eurydice was truly behind him. He couldn't hear her footsteps, and the fear that she might have vanished into thin air gnawed at his soul. In his anxiety and desperation, Orpheus faltered. He stopped just short of the world above, unable to resist the urge to glance back at his beloved Eurydice. In that fateful moment, their eyes met one last time, and Eurydice's form dissolved into mist. She was gone, forever lost to the shadows of the underworld. Orpheus's cry of despair echoed through the caverns of the underworld, and his lyre fell silent. He had come so close to reuniting with Eurydice, but his doubt had cost him everything. With a heavy heart, he retraced his steps, his music now devoid of joy, and his soul forever haunted by the memory of the love he could never reclaim. And so, the tragic tale of Orpheus and Eurydice became one of the most mournful and haunting stories in Greek mythology, a reminder of the fragility of human love and the consequences of doubt and hesitation. After Eurydice had vanished before his eyes, Orpheus stood in the dimly lit threshold between the world of the living and the shadowed realm of the underworld, tears streaming down his face. His heart, already heavy with grief, now bore the crushing weight of regret. He knew he had broken his promise to Hades, the god of the underworld, by looking back at Eurydice before they had fully returned to the land of the living. Orpheus staggered back into the underworld, his steps heavy and slow, the echoes of his own sorrowful cries reverberating through the cavernous depths. The shades of the departed watched him with hollow eyes, recognizing the wretchedness of a man who had glimpsed hope only to have it cruelly torn away. He found himself once more before the throne of Hades and Persephone, the lord and lady of the underworld. Hades, his voice as cold and unyielding as ever, spoke, "Orpheus, you have broken your promise. You were given a chance to reclaim your love, but your doubt has cost you dearly." Orpheus, his voice choked with tears, replied, "Mighty Hades, I beg your forgiveness. My love for Eurydice was so great, my fear so overwhelming, that I could not resist the urge to look back. I did not mean to defy your command, but my heart betrayed me." Persephone, who had felt a twinge of sympathy for Orpheus before, now spoke gently, "Orpheus, we understand the depth of your love and grief. However, the laws of the underworld are unyielding. Once a soul enters this realm, it cannot return to the world of the living. There can be no exceptions." Hades, though unrelenting, had witnessed many such tragic tales in his realm, and he could not help but be moved by the young musician's despair. He said, "Orpheus, your music possesses a rare power, and your love is true. I will grant you one final request, one that no mortal has ever received. You may stay in the underworld as a shade, and you may be reunited with Eurydice. However, you will both be forever bound to this realm, and you will never again see the light of the living world." Orpheus, torn between his love for Eurydice and his yearning for the world above, hesitated. He knew that choosing to remain in the underworld would mean an eternity of darkness, devoid of sunlight, warmth, and the vibrant life he had once known. But he also knew that he could not bear to be separated from Eurydice for all eternity. With a heavy heart, he made his decision. "Great Hades, I choose to stay in the underworld with my beloved Eurydice. I cannot bear the thought of being parted from her, even if it means relinquishing the world of the living." Hades nodded, accepting Orpheus's choice. "So be it," he said. "You shall both remain in the underworld as shades, together for all eternity." As the words left Hades' lips, a profound change overcame Orpheus. His mortal form began to fade, his body becoming translucent, and he felt his connection to the world above slip away. He reached out to touch Eurydice one last time, his hand passing through her like mist. She too became insubstantial, her form blending with the shadows of the underworld. They were now shades, bound to the realm of death, but at least they were together. Orpheus took Eurydice's hand, and they began to explore their new existence in the underworld. Though they could never again experience the warmth of the sun or the beauty of the living world, they found solace in each other's presence. Orpheus's lyre, which had fallen silent in the world above, now echoed with a mournful melody that reverberated through the underworld. His music, once so joyful and enchanting, had transformed into a haunting lament, a reflection of the love and loss that defined his existence. In the darkness of the underworld, Orpheus and Eurydice danced to the melancholy strain of his lyre. Their love, though eternal, was tinged with sadness, for they would never know the light of day again. Yet they were together, and in each other's arms they found a measure of peace and comfort. And so the tragic tale of Orpheus and Eurydice came to its bittersweet conclusion. They remained in the underworld, bound to each other for all eternity, their love enduring even in the darkest of realms. Orpheus and Eurydice, now shades in the underworld, found themselves in a world unlike any they had ever known. The realm of death was shrouded in perpetual twilight, a place of shadows and echoes where the passage of time held little meaning. There were no days, no nights, only an eternal gloom that enveloped everything. As they wandered through the dimly lit landscapes of the underworld, Orpheus and Eurydice encountered other shades, lost souls who had met similar fates. Some wandered aimlessly, their faces etched with sorrow, while others sought solace in the company of fellow shades. It was a realm of endless solitude and melancholy. Orpheus's lyre, once a source of joy and inspiration, had become a symbol of their shared sorrow. He would play haunting melodies that echoed through the caverns of the underworld, his music a lament for the life they had lost. The other shades would gather around to listen, their hollow eyes reflecting the pain and longing that filled their existence. Eurydice, though bound to the underworld like Orpheus, often felt a deep sense of melancholy. She missed the warmth of the sun on her skin, the vibrant colors of the world above, and the simple pleasures of mortal life. She yearned for the taste of ripe fruit, the fragrance of flowers, and the sound of laughter. Orpheus, ever devoted to his beloved, did his best to comfort her. He would weave tales of their time together in the world of the living, describing the beauty of nature, the joy of their love, and the moments of happiness they had shared. Eurydice would listen, her eyes brimming with tears, as if trying to hold on to those memories in the midst of the underworld's relentless gloom. One day, as Orpheus and Eurydice were exploring a desolate, rocky landscape, they came upon a river, its waters as dark as obsidian. The river was named the Lethe, the river of forgetfulness, and it held a unique power. Those who drank from its waters would forget their past lives, their memories fading away like mist. Eurydice, curious and perhaps hoping to escape the haunting memories of her past life, bent down to drink from the Lethe. As the cool, dark waters touched her lips, she felt a strange sensation. Memories began to fade, slipping through her fingers like grains of sand. She forgot the feel of sunlight on her skin, the taste of her favorite foods, and the sound of Orpheus's laughter. Her past life became a hazy, distant dream. Orpheus, seeing what had happened to Eurydice, rushed to her side and begged her not to drink any more from the Lethe. He feared that she would forget him, that their love would be lost to the river's embrace. Eurydice, confused and disoriented, complied, and the memories that had started to fade returned, albeit faintly. they continued their journey through the underworld, with Orpheus determined to protect Eurydice from the Lethe's forgetful waters. He knew that their love was the only anchor to their past lives, and he couldn't bear the thought of losing that connection. As time passed in the timeless realm of the underworld, Orpheus and Eurydice found a semblance of routine in their existence. They would explore the shadowy landscapes, play music for the other shades, and occasionally encounter familiar figures from Greek mythology. Heroes, kings, and mythical creatures wandered the underworld, each with their own stories of triumph and tragedy. One such encounter was with the shade of Achilles, the famed hero of the Trojan War. Achilles, who had met his end in battle, welcomed Orpheus and Eurydice and shared tales of his past glory. He spoke of his invulnerability, his epic battles, and his ultimate downfall when an arrow had pierced his heel, the only vulnerable part of his body. Achilles, like the other shades, yearned for the world above, for a chance to rewrite his fate. He longed to feel the rush of battle once more, to bask in the adoration of his fellow warriors. Orpheus and Eurydice listened to his tales with empathy, for they too knew the ache of lost dreams and unfulfilled desires. As they conversed with Achilles, Orpheus couldn't help but wonder about the nature of the underworld. He had heard tales of the river Styx, which separated the realm of the living from the realm of the dead, and the judges of the underworld, who determined the fate of souls. He wondered if there was any hope of redemption or escape from this eternal twilight. One day, as Orpheus and Eurydice were wandering through a particularly desolate part of the underworld, they came upon a cavern that seemed to lead deeper into the darkness. It was a place they had not explored before, and a sense of curiosity and determination stirred within Orpheus. With Eurydice by his side, he entered the cavern, his lyre in hand. The passage was narrow and winding, and the darkness grew more oppressive with each step. Yet Orpheus pressed on, driven by a restless longing and a desire to uncover the mysteries of the underworld. As they ventured deeper into the cavern, they heard whispers in the shadows, faint voices that seemed to beckon them onward. Orpheus's music, though mournful, resonated with a strange power in this place, as if it were responding to some ancient call. Finally, they reached a chamber bathed in a dim, otherworldly light. At its center stood 3 figures, ancient and imposing, their eyes like pools of darkness. Orpheus recognized them as the judges of the underworld, the arbiters of mortal souls. The first judge, Rhadamanthus, spoke with a voice like thunder. Who dares to intrude upon the realm of the judges? Orpheus, though filled with trepidation, replied, I am Orpheus, a mortal shade, and this is Eurydice, my beloved. We seek to understand the nature of the underworld, to learn if there is any hope for redemption or escape from this eternal twilight. The second judge, Minos, regarded them with a stern gaze. Mortal, your questions are bold, but the answers are not easily given. The underworld is the realm of the dead, and the laws that govern it are as old as time itself. Redemption and escape are not granted lightly. The third judge, Iacchus, the most ancient and enigmatic of them all, spoke in a voice that seemed to echo from the depths of the earth. Yet, mortal, you possess a gift that sets you apart. Your music has the power to move even the hearts of gods. We shall grant you a chance to seek answers, but you must embark on a quest of great significance. Orpheus and Eurydice, their hearts filled with a mixture of hope and apprehension, listened intently as the judges outlined their quest. They were to journey through the darkest and most perilous corners of the underworld, facing trials and challenges that would. Orpheus and Eurydice stood before the judges of the underworld, their hearts heavy with both hope and dread. The judges had outlined a quest for them, a journey through the darkest and most perilous corners of the underworld, where they would face trials and challenges that would test the very limits of their love and determination. The first judge, Rhadamanthus, spoke solemnly. Orpheus, Eurydice, your quest is one of redemption and renewal. To earn a chance at escaping the eternal twilight of the underworld, you must prove the depth and purity of your love. You shall face 3 trials, each more daunting than the last. Orpheus nodded, his resolve unwavering. He would do whatever it took to escape the underworld and return to the world of the living with Eurydice by his side. The second judge, Minos, continued, your first trial will take you to the abyss of lost souls, a desolate expanse where the souls of the damned linger in eternal torment. There you must find a way to free a lost soul from its suffering, demonstrating your compassion and selflessness. Eurydice, though anxious about the challenges that lay ahead, looked at Orpheus with unwavering trust. She knew that together they could overcome anything. The third judge, Aeacus, spoke with an air of mystery. Your second trial will test the strength of your love. In the labyrinth of regrets, you shall encounter echoes of your past lives, moments of both joy and sorrow. You must navigate this labyrinth, seeking a hidden truth about your love that has remained unspoken. Orpheus and Eurydice exchanged a knowing glance. Their love had always been a source of joy, but it had also been tinged with regrets and unspoken words. This trial would force them to confront the deepest corners of their hearts. Aeacus continued, your final trial will be the most perilous of all. In the Garden of Shadows, you shall face the ultimate test of your commitment. There, you will be tempted by illusions, false promises, and the lure of a world beyond the underworld. To succeed, you must resist these temptations and remain faithful to each other. Orpheus felt a shiver run down his spine. The thought of being tempted away from Eurydice filled him with dread, but he knew that their love was worth any sacrifice. With the quest outlined before them, Orpheus and Eurydice set out, their hearts filled with determination. They knew that the path ahead would be fraught with danger and uncertainty, but they were willing to face whatever challenges lay in their way. Their first trial led them to the abyss of lost souls, a desolate wasteland where the moans and cries of the damned echoed through the air. The ground was parched and cracked, and the air was thick with despair. Orpheus and Eurydice walked among the lost souls, their eyes filled with compassion. They saw shades writhing in anguish, reliving their past sins and regrets for all eternity. It was a place of unending torment, and the suffering was palpable. As they ventured deeper into the abyss, they came upon a soul, a woman who seemed to be in the depths of despair. Her eyes were hollow and her cries were filled with anguish. Orpheus and Eurydice approached her, their hearts heavy with sorrow. Orpheus spoke softly to the lost soul. "Why do you suffer so, dear spirit? What has brought you to this wretched place?" The soul, her voice filled with pain, replied, "I am a shade of a mortal who betrayed the trust of a loved one. I betrayed a sacred vow, and my actions led to the suffering of those I cared for. Now I am condemned to relive my betrayal for all eternity." Eurydice's heart ached for the lost soul, and she said, "We understand the pain of regret and the weight of past mistakes. We seek to help you find redemption, to ease your suffering. What can we do to free you from this torment?" The lost soul looked at them with hollow eyes, her voice trembling. "There is but one way to ease my suffering. I must be forgiven by the one I betrayed, a forgiveness that has remained out of reach for countless years." Orpheus and Eurydice exchanged a knowing glance. They understood the significance of this task. To free the lost soul from her torment, they would need to seek forgiveness on her behalf from the one she had wronged. With determination in their hearts, Orpheus and Eurydice ventured further into the abyss, searching for the soul who had been wronged by the lost soul. They encountered other lost souls along the way, each bearing their own stories of betrayal and regret. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they came upon another soul, a man who radiated a sense of sadness and bitterness. Orpheus and Eurydice approached him, and Orpheus spoke, "We have encountered a lost soul who seeks forgiveness for her betrayal. She longs to be released from her torment and find redemption. Will you forgive her, so that she may find peace?" The man, his gaze distant, replied, "Her betrayal caused great pain and suffering, and I carried that burden with me into the afterlife. But I have also known the weight of regret and the desire for forgiveness. I forgive her, for I understand the power of redemption and the need to find peace." With those words, a sense of relief washed over the lost soul, and she began to glow with a soft, ethereal light. The torment that had bound her for so long began to fade, and she smiled gratefully at Orpheus and Eurydice. As the lost soul's form dissipated into the air, a sense of peace settled over the abyss of lost souls. The moans and cries of the damned grew quieter, and the desolation began to lift. Orpheus and Eurydice had succeeded in their first trial, demonstrating their compassion and selflessness. With the first trial behind them, Orpheus and Eurydice continued their quest, their hearts filled with hope and determination. They knew that the path ahead would be fraught with challenges, but they were willing to face whatever obstacles lay in their way. Their next trial would take them to the labyrinth of regrets, where they would confront echoes of their past lives and seek a hidden truth about their love that had remained unspoken. As they entered the labyrinth, a sense of unease settled over them. The twisting corridors seemed to stretch on endlessly, and the walls were adorned with images from their past, moments of joy and sorrow that they had shared together. Orpheus and Eurydice walked hand in hand, their steps hesitant but resolute. They knew that this trial would force them to confront the deepest corners of their hearts, to unearth the regrets and unspoken truths that had lingered between them. As they ventured deeper into the labyrinth, they came upon a series of images that depicted moments from their past lives. They saw themselves as lovers in different times and places, their love transcending the boundaries of mortality. They saw a vision of themselves in ancient Greece, walking along a sun-drenched beach, their laughter filling the air. They saw another vision of themselves in a distant future, their love enduring through the ages. But amidst the moments of joy, they also saw glimpses of sorrow and regret. They saw themselves in moments of anger and doubt, times when they had hurt each other with thoughtless words and actions. Orpheus and Eurydice confronted these echoes of their past, acknowledging the pain and regret that had lingered in their hearts. They spoke openly about their fears and insecurities, their moments of doubt and misunderstanding. As they shared their deepest truths with each other, a sense of catharsis washed over them. The weight of their unspoken regrets began to lift, replaced by a renewed sense of understanding and forgiveness. In the heart of the labyrinth, they encountered a mirror that reflected their current forms as shades. As they gazed into the mirror, they saw not only their spectral appearances, but also the essence of their love, a love that had endured through trials and tribulations, a love that transcended the boundaries of life and death. With their hearts lightened and their love reaffirmed, Orpheus and Eurydice emerged from the labyrinth of regrets, having successfully completed their second trial. They had navigated the echoes of their past, confronted their regrets, and spoken their deepest truths. Their final trial awaited them in the Garden of Shadows, a place where they would be tempted by illusions, false promises, and the lure of a world beyond the underworld. To succeed, they would need to resist these temptations and remain faithful to each other. As they entered the Garden of Shadows, the world around them transformed into a lush and vibrant landscape. Colorful flowers bloomed, and the scent of freshly blossomed roses filled the air. It was a stark contrast to the perpetual twilight of the underworld. Orpheus and Eurydice walked through the garden, their senses filled with the sights and sounds of the world above. They saw a sun-dappled glade where mortals danced and laughed, basking in the warmth of the sun. They heard the melodious songs of birds and felt the gentle caress of a warm breeze. But as they ventured deeper into the garden, they encountered illusions and temptations that tested their resolve. They saw visions of their past lives, moments of happiness and fulfillment that had eluded them in their mortal existence. They were tempted by promises of a world where they could live out their lives together, free from the shadows of the underworld. Orpheus and Eurydice knew that these temptations were not real, that they were mere illusions designed to lure them away from each other. They clung to each other, their love serving as their anchor in the midst of the seductive illusions. As they continued through the garden, the illusions grew stronger, the promises more enticing. But Orpheus and Eurydice remained steadfast, their love and determination unwavering. Finally, at the heart of the Garden of Shadows, they encountered a figure cloaked in darkness, a being of shadow and temptation. The figure spoke with a voice that was both alluring and sinister. "Orpheus, Eurydice," the figure whispered. "Imagine a world where you can be together, where you can live out your days in the warmth of the sun, free from the eternal twilight of the underworld. All you need to do is let go of each other and embrace this world of illusions." Orpheus and Eurydice looked at each other, their hearts filled with longing for the world above. But they knew that the world offered by the figure was not real, that it was a mere mirage designed to lead them astray. With a sense of determination, Orpheus spoke. "We have faced trials and challenges that have tested the depth of our love. We have navigated the echoes of our past and confronted our regrets. We will not be tempted away from each other by false promises. Our love is our anchor, and together we will face whatever comes our way." As Orpheus spoke these words, the figure in the garden began to dissipate, its illusions fading away like smoke. The vibrant landscape of the garden transformed back into the shadows of the underworld. Orpheus and Eurydice had successfully completed their third and final trial, demonstrating their unwavering commitment to each other. They had resisted the temptations of the Garden of Shadows and remained faithful to their love. With their trials behind them, Orpheus and Eurydice felt a sense of accomplishment and renewal. They knew that their love had been tested and strengthened, and they were one step closer to the possibility of escaping the eternal twilight of the underworld. But their quest was not yet complete. They would need to return to the judges of the underworld and await their judgment, hoping that their love and determination had been enough to earn them a chance at redemption and escape. As they made their way back through the twisting corridors of the labyrinth, Orpheus and Eurydice felt a renewed sense of hope. They had faced their regrets, confronted their past, and resisted temptation. They had shown the depth of their love, and now they could only wait and hope that their efforts had not been in vain. Their journey through the underworld had tested their love in ways they could never have imagined, but it had also reaffirmed the strength of their bond. As they approached the judges once more, they knew that their fate hung in the balance, and they could only pray for a chance at a brighter future. Orpheus and Eurydice returned to the judges of the underworld, their hearts heavy with anticipation. They had completed their trials, facing the abyss of lost souls, the labyrinth of regrets, and the garden of shadows, and now they awaited the judgment that would determine their fate. The first judge, Rhadamanthus, regarded them with a stern expression. "Orpheus, Eurydice, you have faced your trials with courage and determination. You have demonstrated compassion, confronted your regrets, and resisted temptation. But the ultimate question remains: is your love pure and unwavering?" Orpheus and Eurydice exchanged a glance filled with hope and trepidation. They had risked everything to prove the depth of their love, and now they could only wait for the judge's verdict. The second judge, Minos, spoke solemnly. "Your love has been tested in the fires of the underworld, and it has not faltered. You have shown that your bond is stronger than the shadows that surround you. But there is one final test that remains." Orpheus and Eurydice's hearts sank as they listened intently. They had thought their trials were over, but it seemed there was one last challenge they must face. The third judge, Aeacus, the most ancient and enigmatic of them all, spoke with a voice that seemed to echo from the depths of the earth. To prove the purity of your love, you must journey to the heart of the underworld, to the realm of the Ebon Throne. There, you shall face the judgment of the gods, the ultimate test of your devotion. Orpheus and Eurydice nodded, their determination unwavering. They were willing to face whatever challenge lay ahead to earn a chance at redemption and escape from the underworld. The judges directed them to follow a path that led deeper into the darkness of the underworld, towards the heart of the realm. The journey was treacherous, with shadowy creatures and ominous whispers lurking in the shadows. But Orpheus and Eurydice pressed on, their love serving as their guiding light in the darkness. After what felt like an eternity, they reached the heart of the underworld, a place shrouded in an impenetrable darkness. At its center stood the Ebon Throne, a massive and imposing structure that seemed to absorb all light and hope. As Orpheus and Eurydice approached the throne, they felt a sense of foreboding. The very air seemed to hum with power, and they could sense the presence of ancient and powerful forces at work. They knelt before the Ebon Throne, their hearts filled with humility and reverence. Orpheus spoke, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "Mighty gods of the underworld, we come before you to seek redemption and a chance at escape from this eternal twilight. We have faced trials and challenges that have tested the depth of our love, and we have proven our devotion to each other. We humbly submit ourselves to your judgment." As Orpheus finished speaking, a profound stillness descended upon the throne room, and the darkness seemed to grow even more oppressive. Then, from the shadows, 3 figures emerged, their forms obscured by darkness. The first figure, a towering and imposing presence, spoke with a voice that rumbled like thunder. "Orpheus, Eurydice, you have ventured into the depths of the underworld and faced its trials. But the judgment of the gods is not to be taken lightly." The second figure, cloaked in shadow, continued, "Your love has been tested, and it has not wavered. But the gods demand proof of your devotion, a sacrifice that will seal your fate." Orpheus and Eurydice exchanged a worried glance, their hearts filled with trepidation. They had come this far, but the gods' demands remained a mystery. The third figure, the most enigmatic of them all, spoke with a voice that seemed to come from all directions at once. "To earn your chance at redemption and escape, you must make the ultimate sacrifice. Orpheus, you must surrender your gift of music, the very essence of your being. Eurydice, you must forsake the world of the living, the mortal life you once knew." Orpheus and Eurydice felt a profound sense of loss wash over them. Orpheus's music had been a source of joy and inspiration, a gift that had brought light and beauty into the world. Eurydice had yearned for the world of the living, for the warmth of the sun and the simple pleasures of mortal life. But they also knew that their love was worth any sacrifice. Orpheus spoke with determination. "We accept the gods' judgment. we willingly surrender what is asked of us, for our love is greater than any gift or longing." Eurydice nodded, her eyes filled with tears. "Our love has endured through trials and tribulations, through the darkness of the underworld. It is our anchor and our salvation." With their decision made, the three figures, the judges of the underworld, approached Orpheus and Eurydice. They raised their hands, and a blinding light enveloped the couple, their forms dissolving into the brilliance. Orpheus felt the music within him, the melodies that had once flowed effortlessly from his soul, slipping away. It was a painful and bittersweet loss, but he knew that his sacrifice was necessary for their chance at redemption. Eurydice felt the memories of the world above, the warmth of the sun, and the sights and sounds of mortal life fading from her grasp. She closed her eyes, savoring the last traces of those memories, knowing that they would live on in her heart. As the light began to fade, Orpheus and Eurydice found themselves standing before the judges once more. Their forms changed. Orpheus could no longer feel the music within him, and Eurydice had become fully attuned to the shadows of the underworld. The judges regarded them with solemnity. "You have made the ultimate sacrifice, surrendering your gifts and desires for the sake of your love. Your devotion has been proven, and your redemption is earned." With those words, a sense of joy and relief washed over Orpheus and Eurydice. They had faced the judgment of the gods and emerged victorious, their love stronger than ever. The judges directed them to return to the threshold between the world of the living and the underworld, the place where their journey had begun. There, they would be given a chance to return to the world above, to start anew with the knowledge of their love's enduring power. As Orpheus and Eurydice made their way back through the darkness of the underworld, they felt a profound sense of gratitude and renewal. They had faced unimaginable challenges, made sacrifices beyond measure, and their love had emerged victorious. Finally, they reached the threshold, the border between the realms of life and death. As they stood there, the judges of the underworld appeared one last time, their expressions softened with a sense of approval. Rhadamanthus spoke. "Orpheus, Eurydice, you have proven the depth and purity of your love. You have faced trials and challenges that would daunt even the bravest of souls. Now you are granted a chance at redemption and a return to the world of the living." With those words, a brilliant light enveloped Orpheus and Eurydice, lifting them from the darkness of the underworld and carrying them upwards, towards the world above. As they emerged into the sunlight, they felt the warmth of the sun on their skin, the vibrant colors of the world around them, and the joy of being alive. They looked at each other with tears of gratitude in their eyes, knowing that their love had transcended the boundaries of life and death. Orpheus took Eurydice's hand, and they began to walk together, their hearts filled with hope and the knowledge that their love would endure for all eternity. And so, the tragic tale of Orpheus and Eurydice came to a bittersweet and ultimately hopeful conclusion. Their love had been tested and proven, and they had earned a chance at redemption and a return to the world of the living. As they walked hand in hand, they knew that their love was a beacon of light that could pierce even the darkest shadows. They had faced the depths of the underworld and emerged stronger than ever, their love a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. Orpheus and Eurydice had returned to the world of the living, their hearts filled with gratitude and a profound sense of renewal. They had faced the trials of the underworld, made sacrifices beyond measure, and emerged victorious, their love stronger than ever. As they walked hand in hand through the world above, they marveled at the beauty of nature, the vibrant colors of the sky, and the simple pleasures of mortal life. Every sensation, every sound and scent felt like a precious gift. Orpheus, once again able to speak through his music, played his lyre, and the melodies that flowed from his soul were filled with a newfound sense of joy and gratitude. His music resonated with the world around them, bringing a sense of enchantment to their journey. Eurydice, her heart brimming with happiness, danced to the music, her movements graceful and filled with grace. She felt a deep sense of contentment, knowing that she was finally free to embrace the world above. Their love had endured through trials and tribulations, through the darkness of the underworld, and it was a love that had been tested and proven. They knew that their bond was unbreakable, that they were meant to be together. As they continued their journey, they encountered mortals who were captivated by Orpheus's music and Eurydice's beauty. They were welcomed with open arms, their story of love and redemption inspiring those they met. Word of their journey spread far and wide, and they became known as the couple who had faced the depths of the underworld and emerged victorious. Their love story was celebrated, and they were welcomed as heroes in every village and town they visited. But Orpheus and Eurydice also knew the fragility of mortal life, the fleeting nature of happiness. They cherished each moment together, savoring the simple pleasures of life, sunsets, laughter, and the feeling of each other's presence. As the years passed, their love deepened, and they welcomed children into their lives, passing on the legacy of their enduring love. Their family flourished, and their days were filled with laughter and joy. Orpheus continued to play his lyre, and his music became a source of inspiration and solace for all who heard it. His melodies told the story of their journey, of love conquering even the darkest of trials. Eurydice, in turn, nurtured the beauty of the natural world, tending to gardens filled with vibrant flowers and lush greenery. She found solace in the simple act of tending to the earth, knowing that life was a precious gift to be cherished. But even as they embraced the joys of mortal life, they were always mindful of the shadow of the underworld, the realm they had left behind. They knew that their time in the world of the living was a gift, and they cherished each moment. One day, as they watched the sunset together, Orpheus turned to Eurydice, his eyes filled with a mixture of love and sadness. "My beloved," he said, "we have been blessed with a beautiful life together, but we must never forget the journey that brought us here. Our love has endured through the depths of the underworld, and it is a love that will live on for all eternity." Eurydice nodded, her heart heavy with the weight of their shared memories. "Our journey in the underworld was a testament to the strength of our love. It has shaped us into who we are today, and I will carry those memories with me always." As they spoke, a sense of peace washed over them, a recognition of the beauty and fragility of life. They knew that their love was a gift, one that had been tested and proven in the darkest of trials. And so, Orpheus and Eurydice lived out their days in the world of the living, their love enduring through the passage of time. They knew that their story would be told for generations to come, a tale of love, sacrifice, and the triumph of the heart over the darkest of trials. Their love had transcended the boundaries of life and death, a love that would live on for all eternity. As the years passed, Orpheus and Eurydice continued to live a life filled with love and contentment in the world of the living. Their story had become legendary, a testament to the enduring power of love and the triumph of the heart over the darkest of trials. Their children had grown, and their family had flourished. The beauty of their love story was passed down through generations, a reminder of the strength of the human spirit and the boundless capacity of the heart to love. Orpheus's music continued to enchant all who heard it. His melodies were a source of inspiration and solace, a reminder that beauty could be found even in the midst of life's challenges. His lyre had become a symbol of hope and resilience. Eurydice's gardens had flourished, a testament to her connection to the natural world. Her green thumb brought forth lush blooms and vibrant foliage, and her gardens had become a sanctuary for all who sought solace and peace. But as the years passed, Orpheus and Eurydice couldn't help but feel the weight of time bearing down on them. They had been granted a chance at redemption and a return to the world of the living, but they knew that their time was finite, that mortal life was a fleeting gift. One evening, as they sat together beneath the stars, Orpheus spoke with a sense of melancholy in his voice. "My beloved Eurydice, our love has been a beacon of light that has illuminated our lives and the lives of those around us. But as time passes, I can't help but feel a sense of longing for the eternity we once shared in the underworld." Eurydice gazed at him with a knowing smile, her eyes filled with love. "Orpheus, our time in the underworld was a test of our love, a trial that strengthened our bond, but the beauty of mortal life lies in its impermanence. It is the very fleeting nature of life that makes it precious." Orpheus nodded, his heart heavy with emotion. "I know, my love, but the thought of losing you again, of being separated by the veil of death once more, fills me with sadness." Eurydice reached out and took his hand, her touch comforting and reassuring. "Our love has conquered the boundaries of life and death once before, and it will do so again. Our souls are bound together for all eternity, and nothing can ever truly separate us." And so, Orpheus and Eurydice continued to live their lives, savoring each moment together, knowing that their love was a gift that transcended the passage of time. As the years turned into decades, they watched as their children and grandchildren grew, their love story a source of inspiration and guidance. They passed on the lessons they had learned from their journey. In the underworld, the importance of love, sacrifice, and the resilience of the human spirit. Orpheus's music continued to touch the hearts of all who heard it, and his melodies were sung by bards and musicians throughout the land. His songs told the tale of their journey, a story of love that had conquered the darkest of trials. Eurydice's gardens flourished, and the beauty of her creations brought solace and peace to all who visited. Her gardens had become a place of reflection and contemplation, a sanctuary for those seeking respite from the challenges of life. But as the years passed, the world around them began to change. New generations came and went, and the world seemed to grow colder and more distant. The values and traditions of their time began to fade, replaced by a world that had forgotten the importance of love and compassion. Orpheus and Eurydice watched with a sense of sadness as the world they had known transformed before their eyes. They saw the rise of conflicts and wars, the erosion of kindness and empathy, and the growing divide between people. Their love story, once a source of inspiration and hope, began to be overshadowed by the turmoil of the world. It seemed that the lessons they had learned from their journey in the underworld were in danger of being forgotten. One evening, as they sat together in their garden, Orpheus spoke with a heavy heart. "Eurydice, my love, it pains me to see the world changing in this way. Our love story, our journey in the underworld, was meant to be a testament to the enduring power of love and the resilience of the human spirit. But it seems that the world has forgotten those lessons." Eurydice nodded, her eyes filled with a mixture of sadness and understanding. "Orpheus, the world is always changing, and it is not always within our control to shape its course. But we can continue to live our lives in accordance with the values and love that have guided us." Orpheus smiled at her, his love for her undiminished by the passage of time. "You are right, my beloved. Our love has endured through trials and tribulations, and it will continue to shine as a beacon of light, even in the darkest of times." And so, Orpheus and Eurydice continued to live their lives with love and compassion, sharing their wisdom and kindness with those they encountered. They knew that their love story was a reminder that love could conquer even the most formidable of challenges. As the years turned into centuries, they watched as the world continued to change, its challenges and conflicts evolving with the times, but they also saw moments of beauty and grace, acts of kindness and compassion that reminded them of the enduring goodness of the human spirit. Orpheus's music continued to inspire and uplift, and Eurydice's gardens remained a place of solace and reflection. Their home had become a sanctuary, a place where people could come to find comfort and inspiration. And through it all, Orpheus and Eurydice's love endured, a love that transcended the boundaries of life and death, a love that had conquered the darkest of trials. They knew that their love was a gift, one that had been tested and proven, and they cherished each moment they had together. As they watched the world change around them, they took solace in the knowledge that their love story would live on, a reminder of the enduring power of love and the triumph of the heart over the darkest of trials. And so, the tragic tale of Orpheus and Eurydice came to a bittersweet and ultimately hopeful conclusion. Their love had endured through the passage of time, a love that would live on for all eternity. As the centuries passed, Orpheus and Eurydice continued to live a life filled with love and purpose. Their story had become a timeless legend, a testament to the enduring power of love and the indomitable strength of the human spirit. Generations came and went, and the world around them continued to change. The values and traditions of their time evolved, and the challenges of the world grew ever more complex. But through it all, Orpheus and Eurydice remained a beacon of love and hope, a living testament to the lessons they had learned from their journey in the underworld. Orpheus's music had become a timeless treasure, his melodies transcending the boundaries of culture and time. His songs told the story of their journey, a story of love that had conquered the darkest of trials. His lyre had become a symbol of resilience and inspiration. Eurydice's gardens had grown into a place of profound beauty and tranquility. People from all walks of life sought solace and reflection in the lush, vibrant oasis she had created. Her gardens were a testament to the healing power of nature and the enduring connection between humanity and the earth. But as the centuries rolled on, Orpheus and Eurydice couldn't help but sense a change in the world around them. The once thriving connection between people, the bonds of love and compassion, began to erode. The world seemed to grow colder, and the values they held dear appeared to be slipping away. One evening, as they sat together beneath the stars, Orpheus spoke with a sense of concern in his voice. "Eurydice, my beloved, I can't help but notice the changes in the world. The values we hold dear, the importance of love and compassion, seem to be fading away. It's as if the world has lost its way." Eurydice nodded, her eyes filled with a mixture of sadness and wisdom. "Orpheus, the world is always in a state of flux, and change is an inevitable part of life. But we can continue to live our lives in accordance with the values that have guided us, and perhaps, in doing so, we can inspire others to do the same." Orpheus smiled at her, his love undiminished by the passage of time. "You are right, my beloved. Our love story has endured through trials and tribulations, and it will continue to shine as a beacon of light, even in the darkest of times." And so, Orpheus and Eurydice continued to live their lives with love and compassion, sharing their wisdom and kindness with those they encountered. They knew that their love story was a reminder that love could conquer even the most formidable of challenges. As the years turned into millennia, they watched as the world continued to change, its challenges and conflicts evolving with the times. They saw moments of beauty and grace, acts of kindness and compassion that reaffirmed their faith in the goodness of the human spirit. Orpheus's music continued to inspire and uplift, and Eurydice's gardens remained a place of solace and reflection. Their home had become a sanctuary, a place where people could come to find comfort and inspiration. And through it all, Orpheus and Eurydice's love endured, a love that transcended the boundaries of life and death, a love that had conquered the darkest of trials. They knew that their love was a gift, one that had been tested and proven, and they cherished each moment they had together. As the world continued to change, they took solace in the knowledge that their love story would live on, a reminder of the enduring power of love and the triumph of the heart over the darkest of trials. But as the millennia passed, Orpheus and Eurydice couldn't escape the feeling that their time in the world of the living was drawing to a close. They had been granted a chance at redemption and a return to life, but they knew that their time was finite, that mortality was an inevitable part of their journey. One day, as they stood together in their garden, Orpheus spoke with a sense of resignation in his voice. "Eurydice, my love, I can feel the passage of time more keenly now. Our time in the world of the living has been a gift beyond measure, but I can't help but wonder when our final journey will come." Eurydice turned to him, her eyes filled with love and understanding. "Orpheus, Our love has endured through trials and tribulations, through the depths of the underworld and the passage of millennia. It is a love that will live on for all eternity, transcending the boundaries of life and death. Orpheus nodded, his heart heavy with emotion. I know, my beloved, but the thought of being separated from you, even for a moment, fills me with sadness. Eurydice reached out and took his hand, her touch comforting and reassuring. Our souls are bound together for all eternity. Orpheus, we have faced the depths of the underworld and emerged stronger than ever. Our love is an unbreakable bond that will endure beyond the passage of time. And so, Orpheus and Eurydice continue to live their lives with love and purpose, knowing that each moment together was a precious gift. They shared their wisdom and kindness with those they encountered, inspiring others to embrace the values of love and compassion. As the millennia passed, their story remained a timeless legend, a reminder that love could conquer even the darkest of trials. People from all corners of the world came to hear Orpheus's music and to find solace in Eurydice's gardens. Their home had become a place of pilgrimage, a sanctuary for those seeking inspiration and renewal. But as the eons rolled on, Orpheus and Eurydice couldn't help but sense a change in the world, a shift in the very fabric of reality. The boundaries between life and death, the mortal world and the underworld, seemed to blur and fade. One evening, as they sat together beneath the stars, Orpheus spoke with a sense of wonder in his voice. Eurydice, my beloved, do you sense it too? The boundaries between the worlds are becoming porous, as if the very fabric of reality is changing. Eurydice nodded, her eyes filled with a mixture of awe and anticipation. Orpheus, I can feel it as well. It's as if our journey in the underworld, our love that conquered death itself, has left an indelible mark on the very nature of existence. Orpheus smiled at her, a sense of hope and wonder filling his heart. Perhaps, my beloved, our love has become a beacon of light that transcends the boundaries of life and death, a love that can bridge the realms of existence. And so, Orpheus and Eurydice continue to live their lives, their love enduring through the passage of time, their story becoming a part of the very fabric of reality itself. As the millennia turned into epochs, they watched as the world underwent a profound transformation. The boundaries between life and death, the mortal world and the underworld, continued to blur, and a sense of wonder and possibility filled the air. Orpheus's music, as the world continued to undergo a profound transformation, the boundaries between life and death, the mortal world and the underworld continued to blur. Orpheus and Eurydice sensed a new energy in the air, a shift in the very nature of existence. People from all corners of the world came to hear Orpheus's music and to find solace in Eurydice's gardens. Their home had become a place of pilgrimage, a sanctuary for those seeking inspiration and renewal. But as the ages passed, Orpheus and Eurydice couldn't help but feel that their role in the world was changing. They had been granted a chance at redemption and a return to life, but they knew that their journey was far from over. One evening, as they stood together on the threshold of their home, Orpheus spoke with a sense of anticipation in his voice. Eurydice, my beloved, do you feel it too? The boundaries between the worlds are growing thinner, and it's as if our love has become a bridge between the realms of existence. Eurydice nodded, her eyes filled with a mixture of wonder and purpose. Orpheus, I can sense it as well. Our love, our journey in the underworld, has left an indelible mark on the very fabric of reality. It's as if we are meant to play a role in bridging the realms of life and death. Orpheus smiled at her, his heart filled with a sense of destiny. Perhaps, my beloved, our love is meant to be a beacon of hope, a love that can transcend the boundaries of mortality and eternity. We have faced the depths of the underworld and emerged stronger than ever. Our love is an unbreakable bond that can bridge the realms of existence. And so, Orpheus and Eurydice continued to live their lives with purpose and determination, knowing that their love was a gift that transcended the passage of time. They shared their wisdom and kindness with those they encountered, inspiring others to embrace the values of love and compassion. As the eons passed, their story remained a timeless legend, a reminder that love could conquer even the darkest of trials. People from all corners of the world came to hear Orpheus's music and to find solace in Eurydice's gardens. Their home had become a place of pilgrimage, a sanctuary for those seeking inspiration and renewal. But as the world continued to change, so did the nature of their existence. Orpheus and Eurydice began to feel a deep sense of purpose, a calling that went beyond their roles as guardians of love and compassion. One day, as they stood together in their garden, a brilliant light filled the sky, illuminating the world with a radiance unlike anything they had ever seen. The very ground beneath their feet trembled, and a sense of awe and wonder filled the air. Orpheus and Eurydice knew that something extraordinary was happening, that their destiny was calling them to a new and profound purpose. As they looked up at the sky, a figure appeared before them, a being of light and energy that seemed to transcend the boundaries of mortal existence. The figure spoke with a voice that resonated with power and wisdom. Orpheus and Eurydice, the figure said, "You have been chosen to serve as guardians of the bridge between worlds, a bridge that will allow the souls of the departed to find their way to the afterlife with love and compassion as their guide." Orpheus and Eurydice exchanged a glance, their hearts filled with a sense of purpose and determination. They knew that this was the calling they had been waiting for, the opportunity to use their love as a beacon to guide souls on their journey. The figure continued, "Your love, tested and proven in the depths of the underworld, has become a source of light and hope that can transcend the boundaries of existence. With your guidance, souls will find their way to the afterlife with love and compassion as their guiding principles." Orpheus and Eurydice nodded, a sense of reverence and responsibility filling their hearts. They were ready to embrace this new role, to use their love as a bridge between worlds, a bridge that would bring solace and comfort to the souls of the departed. And so, Orpheus and Eurydice began their new journey, serving as guardians of the bridge between worlds. They stood at the threshold of the mortal world and the underworld, welcoming the souls of the departed with open hearts and love as their guide. As the souls approached, Orpheus played his lyre, filling the air with melodies that resonated with love and compassion. Eurydice's presence brought a sense of peace and comfort, her connection to the natural world soothing the souls on their journey. With each passing soul, Orpheus and Eurydice felt a profound sense of fulfillment, a recognition that their love was serving a greater purpose. They watched as the souls of the departed found solace and comfort in their presence, their journey to the afterlife guided by the power of love. The centuries rolled on, and Orpheus and Eurydice continued their sacred duty, welcoming the souls of the departed with open hearts and love as their guide. Their home had become a place of pilgrimage for those seeking solace and comfort in the face of mortality. But as time passed, a sense of change once again filled the air. The boundaries between the realms of existence began to shift and evolve, and a new era was dawning. One day, as they stood together at the threshold of the mortal world and the underworld, the very ground beneath their feet trembled, and the sky above filled with a brilliant light. The world seemed to hold its breath, as if a momentous event was about to unfold. And then, from the depths of the underworld, a figure emerged, a being of immense power and presence. It was Hades, the god of the underworld, and his arrival signaled a profound shift in the balance of the realms. Hades spoke with a voice that echoed like thunder. Orpheus and Eurydice, your love has served as a beacon of light and hope that has transcended the boundaries of existence. But the time has come for a new era, a time when the realms of life and death, the mortal world and the underworld, shall be forever united. Orpheus and Eurydice exchanged a glance, their hearts filled with a mixture of awe and anticipation. They knew that this was a momentous event, a turning point in the very fabric of reality. Hades continued, your love, your journey in the underworld, has left an indelible mark on the very nature of existence. It has created a bridge between worlds, a bridge that will allow the souls of the departed to find their way to the afterlife with love and compassion as their guide. Orpheus and Eurydice nodded, a sense of reverence and humility filling their hearts. They had always known that their love was meant to serve a greater purpose, and now that purpose was becoming clear. Hades raised his hand, and the very fabric of reality seemed to shift and transform. The boundaries between the realms of existence began to blur, and a new era was. As the boundaries between the realms of existence continued to blur, a new era was dawning, one in which the mortal world and the underworld would be forever united. Orpheus and Eurydice stood at the threshold of this monumental shift, ready to embrace their role as guardians of the bridge between worlds. Hades, the god of the underworld, had declared that their love and their journey in the underworld had left an indelible mark on the very nature of existence. Their love had become a bridge that would guide the souls of the departed to the afterlife with love and compassion as their guiding principles. Orpheus and Eurydice felt a profound sense of purpose and responsibility as they embraced their new role. They stood at the threshold between the mortal world and the underworld, ready to welcome the souls of the departed with open hearts and the power of their enduring love. As the souls approached, Orpheus played his lyre, his melodies resonating with love and compassion. Eurydice's presence brought a sense of peace and comfort, her connection to the natural world soothing the souls on their journey. With each passing soul, Orpheus and Eurydice felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that their love was serving a greater purpose. They watched as the souls found solace and comfort in their presence, their journey to the afterlife guided by the power of love. The world itself seemed to respond to the shift in the realms. The boundaries between life and death, the mortal world and the underworld, had become porous, and a sense of unity and interconnectedness filled the air. People from all corners of the world came to witness this monumental transformation, drawn by the power of Orpheus and Eurydice's love and the bridge they had become between worlds. Their home had become a place of pilgrimage, a symbol of hope and unity. But as the ages passed, Orpheus and Eurydice couldn't help but feel a sense of change once again. The world itself was evolving, and the very fabric of reality seemed to shift and transform. One day, as they stood together at the threshold of their home, a brilliant light filled the sky, illuminating the world with a radiance unlike anything they had ever seen. The very ground beneath their feet trembled, and a sense of awe and wonder filled the air. Orpheus and Eurydice knew that something extraordinary was happening, that the world was on the brink of a new and profound transformation. As they looked up at the sky, a figure appeared before them, a being of light and energy that seemed to transcend the boundaries of mortal existence. The figure spoke with a voice that resonated with power and wisdom. Orpheus and Eurydice. The figure said, "Your love has served as a beacon of light and hope that has transcended the boundaries of existence. But now, the time has come for you to take your place as guardians of the eternal bridge, a bridge that will unite all realms and all souls in a tapestry of love and compassion." Orpheus and Eurydice exchanged a glance, their hearts filled with a sense of awe and responsibility. They had always known that their love was meant to serve a greater purpose, and now that purpose was becoming clear. The figure continued, "Your love, your journey in the underworld, has created a bridge that will forever unite all realms of existence. It will allow souls to move freely between life and death, the mortal world and the underworld, guided by the power of love and compassion." Orpheus and Eurydice nodded, a sense of reverence and humility filling their hearts. They were ready to embrace their role as guardians of the eternal bridge, to serve as stewards of love and compassion for all souls, for all time. The figure raised its hand, and the very fabric of reality seemed to shift and transform once more. The boundaries between the realms of existence dissolved, and a new era of unity and interconnectedness was born. Orpheus and Eurydice stood at the threshold of the eternal bridge, ready to welcome all souls with open hearts and the power of their enduring love. They played their music, and their presence brought a sense of peace and comfort to all who approached. As souls passed through the eternal bridge, they felt the power of love and compassion guiding them on their journey. The boundaries between life and death, the mortal world and the underworld, were no longer barriers, but pathways of transition and transformation. The world itself seemed to breathe with new life and vitality, as the very essence of existence was woven into a tapestry of love and unity. The lessons of their journey in the underworld, The importance of love, sacrifice, and the resilience of the human spirit became the guiding principles of all existence. People from all realms and all walks of life came to witness the power of the eternal bridge, drawn by the transformative power of love and compassion. Orpheus and Eurydice's home had become a place of pilgrimage, a symbol of hope and unity for all beings. But as time continued to flow, Orpheus and Eurydice knew that their role as guardians of the eternal bridge was not finite. They had become timeless beings, stewards of love and compassion for all souls, for all eternity. One day, as they stood together at the threshold of the eternal bridge, a sense of fulfillment and contentment filled their hearts. They had fulfilled their destiny, and their love had become a guiding light for all existence. Eurydice turned to Orpheus, her eyes filled with love and gratitude. Orpheus, my beloved, our journey, our love, has brought us to this moment. We have become guardians of the eternal bridge, stewards of love and compassion for all souls. Our love will forever guide the way. Orpheus smiled at her, his heart brimming with love and purpose. Eurydice, my beloved, our love has transcended the boundaries of life and death, time and eternity. We are bound together for all time, and our love will forever be a beacon of hope and unity for all existence. And so, Orpheus and Eurydice stood together at the threshold of the eternal bridge, their love enduring through the ages, their purpose eternal. They welcomed all souls with open hearts, guiding them on their journey with love and compassion as their guiding principles. The world itself had transformed into a tapestry of love and unity, a testament to the enduring power of love and the triumph of the heart over the darkest of trials. Orpheus and Eurydice's love had become a legacy that would live on for all eternity, a love that would forever bridge the realms of existence. And as the ages passed, their story was told and retold, a timeless legend that reminded all beings of the power of love and compassion to transcend the boundaries of time and eternity. And so, the tragic tale of Orpheus and Eurydice came to a profound and everlasting conclusion. Their love had become the bridge between worlds, a love that would guide all souls on their journey for all time, an eternal love that would forever shine as a beacon of hope and unity. And as our journey through the magical stories of Greek mythology comes to an end, I want to thank each and every one of you for sharing this magical evening with me. Your presence here in this mystical garden made this experience truly special. Good night, dear friends. Until we meet again, may your nights be filled with dreams of heroes, gods and goddesses, and may your days be tinged with the lingering spirit of Greek mythology. Good night.